Alright, welcome you all to your next tutorials. Now if you have made it this far progressively, I want to take time off to say congratulations, because you have finally reached the CSS mark. Now HTML is a language, a hypertext markup language. CSS is an addition to that language because it helps that language, everything, the tags and all, make it look presentable. For example, you could have a really good diagram, okay, of a frog or of a mammal or of a skeleton or whatever, but some annotations or some, little things. How do I put this? You might draw a person, okay, you might draw a person with a crayon, a pencil, and you don't color it up, it's in black and white, and then someone comes creatively and says, okay, I'm going to make the hair blonde, I'm going to make the eyebrows this thick, I'm going to do a little bit of coloring and that, and then voila, it looks like a really good portrait painted by yours truly. Now this is what CSS does. Now CSS, or cascading style sheet, all right, that is the full meaning of CSS, cascading style sheet, sorry. So it is really interesting to learn once you know how to do it. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do, I hope you're excited because I am excited. Woo! The first thing we're going to do is we're going to save our file, and we're going to do it, and we're going to save it as css.html. all right, css.html. Okay, maybe we'll do intro css.html. Alright, makes more sense. Intro css.html. So I have my skeleton as always. Intro, yeah, I just had to paste it. I just copy and paste. That's what I do. So you should always have it somewhere standby, maybe in an open notepad document elsewhere. Just copy and paste, copy and paste. With that being said, I think I will just cancel. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to review some HTML tags we did, but we're going to add styling to it. All right, now buckle up and don't get too excited, but also get too excited. All right, what we're going to do is, the first thing I'm going to take into consideration is a header tag. All right, it's a header tag. So I'm just going to h1 my CSS heading, close the h1 tag. All right, save it up and navigate to my browser. You know how to open, I taught you that already, so this is another method. Only do this when you're sure. Alright, so you have my CSS heading. Now this heading has no CSS attributed to it, nothing whatsoever. Okay, this is just plain HTML. So I'm going to add a little bit of CSS to this. Alright, now there are two ways I could do this. The first way, I could add directly to the tag. I could add my CSS directly to the tag. The second way which I could do this, I could do it in the head tag. Alright, not the title tag, the head tag. So the first, I'm gonna show you, that's called inline styling. Okay, there's external styling. So I will do the first one in the h1 tag. So we're just going to come to the h1 tag. Please, let's just do that. There's nothing to assume. We just type in style. Now why do we do that? We do that because it's the attribute used to show that, hey, we're going to be working on CSS. So we be like style equals to, and it's an attribute. We know how to display an attribute like we did with the href attribute and the out attribute. Alright, so let's change the color. So with CSS, if you want to change the color of probably a tag or something, I'll write color, and I'll do a colon, and I'll be like, let's change it to blue, BLUE, semicolon. Alright, save it, and voila, you see it change from black to blue with CSS styling. Now take note, HTML cannot do this. Alright, CSS cascading style sheet, that is what is going to help you to do it. These are the things which are going to ask you in the exam hall, like probably make this text this color, make that this color. And if you don't know that you're supposed to use CSS, I'm sorry, but there is no magic except you cheat, which I do not advise you to do. Alright, so you could do a whole bunch with CSS. You could change the color, you could change the font size, you could probably italicize it, do whatever you wish to do. So let's probably do this again with another header tag. I'm just going to copy this, paste and paste again. Alright, let's change my CSS heading 1, heading 2 and heading 3. So we're going to change the color. That's blue. Let's change this to red. You can use any color, you could just play around with it. Let's change this to yellow. Save and reload. So you see my CSS heading 1, my CSS heading 2 and my CSS heading 3, they have distinctive colors: blue, red and yellow. Alright, so that is that. So you now know how to do CSS. You now know how to add CSS classes to the header tag directly. Now we're going to see how to do that in the head. Alright, we're going to see how to do that not in the tag but in the head tag. Alright, well, we're just going to classify everything. Now, how is this done? How is this done? It's really simple. It's still done using the style, alright, using style attribute, but this time the style is going to be written as its tag, not the attribute. So I'm just going to go to the head section, and over here I'll be like, let's just leave the title out. I'll tell you to put the style tag, open and close, obviously. Now, what I want to do, I want to style the body. You see the body? It's white. It's a white canvas. I want to change that color. Alright, so let's go there. What we want to change is the body, right? So we type in the name of the tag, body, and all we do is open and close at braces, alright, or what we call parentheses. Okay, open and close them up, and I'm just going to change the color like we did with all of them. So if I take color and I take pink, save it, reload. Now you don't see what happened. You don't see any change. Why is that? Because it hasn't been actually attributed correctly. So what we want to change is the background color. Okay, now you see a change. Alright, so CSS has a little difference from HTML, because if you probably don't do it, like you don't assign what the values you have to assign correctly, it's not going to fix your errors. I don't know if you knew this, but if I go to my notepad and I go out of the body tag, look at where my cursor is, and I be like, type hello, save it, and I come reload, you actually, alright, I don't know in this, okay, sorry, there are some times when you're going to mess up and HTML is going to fix that up for you. Okay, you're going to you could actually open a tag and forget to close it and nothing happens. Actually, if I open the paragraph tag and I type hello, you see that hello, alright, but I haven't closed my paragraph tag. So HTML is wise enough to say, okay, you made a mistake, but it's okay, let bygones be bygones. Alright, so what you're supposed to do with CSS is supposed to be special keynotes to the way you're assigning your values. If there is supposed to be a semicolon and you forget the semicolon, you have a problem. So let's try to remove that semicolon and see. You save it and you reload. Now it's fine, okay, so it doesn't pay so much emphasis on the semicolon. But if you have to assign two attributes, they must be separated by a semicolon. Alright, so not to mix up your head too much, I'm going to write a paragraph tag. Okay, let's do that. Let's write a paragraph tag. Let's save that. We can see trying out CSS with paragraphing. So if I come to the, I can actually change from here, from the P tag itself, but I don't want to. I want to do that in the head tag. So the same we did for body, we're going to do with paragraph. The name of the tag P. I'm just going to open up and we're just going to close it. Okay. Now please keep in mind you can write these braces anyway. It's just my preferable way of doing it, so it's all your choice. So if I want the color of the text in the paragraph, like we've done for the heading and so on, maybe we'll take a color green. I don't know, we'll do that. Okay, we see it is green. Okay, we see it is green. If I think you can see clearly, it is green. So and probably we'll say the font size is really small and we want it to be big. And like I have told you, you do not have to use a head tag in this situation. You do not have to say H2 and then you write triangle CSS with paragraphing. You have put an H2 paragraph and you have used an H2 header tag, alright? But it is not what was asked of you. Increase the font size doesn't mean you should make it bold, alright? It means increase the font size. So I just give some space. I'll be like font size, alright? Font size. Let's just say 30 pixels. Save it and reload. Now you see the font size now is bigger because we have done just basic CSS. Now the problem most students have is they're like, ma, how will I remember every CSS? Masa, it is really so much. It is, you need to know what you need to know. Alright, because at this level you don't have so much in mind, but trust me, if you're supposed to continue with this career, speaking from personal experience, you're going to need a reference from somewhere. But in the examination hall, the only reference is your head. Alright, so the basic things are what I'm going to show you here. So you see how to do a background color, you see how to change text color, you see how to change the font size. Alright, you could also change the font family. You will not always be asked about this, but you could change the font family and you could be like, oh sorry, you want it to be Arial. Okay, that's a family. Font family is a different type of font. So let me take this out, save. I think you actually see how the font size changed. Alright, you see it now, and if you refresh you see it. Okay, now so all you need to do is change the font size. But family, this particular attribute is not always asked of you because CSS has a limitation to the fonts. Okay, so you might see a Google font somewhere and you want to use it. Probably you see Cambria bold and you think that, okay, I want to use this one, this font family, but CSS might not allow you to use it, so they won't always ask you for that. But these are just the basic things, right? They're just the basic things any advanced level web developer should know. Yes, you are actually a web developer at your level. Alright, so we've done the background color, the font size. We could do as much as we want. We can say, okay, if we have to add an image, alright, let's try CSS with images. Okay, image source equal to open and close your quotes, meet.jpg. I'm using that because I still have that in the same folder. So that is my image. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to come down here and I'll be like image, open and close my quotes. Okay, open and close my quotes. And if I want to increase the width, probably I will be like width. If I want to style the width, I'll be like, give me a width of 500 pixels. That should cover up at least a pretty more portion of the page. Alright, so you see that I've increased the width of the image, and I could do as well with the height. 500 pixels. It's all my choice. Alright, that's the fun thing about CSS. You could do that. Alright, just play around with it. So there are other attributes, and quite frankly, CSS is one of the main things they're going to be testing you on when they talk about HTML. It's really funny because they will tell you like, hey, come, we're learning HTML, but all they test you on is CSS. Yes, it's funny, but it's true, and it's the reality of it, and it's really easy once you get to know it. So I think for simplicity's sake, I'm going to cut the tutorial short here, and we're going to actually have an exercise which I'm going to follow through with you, and you're going to see deeply how CSS is being used. Okay, we're going to talk about classes, we're going to talk about IDs. As a matter of fact, I think we should talk about IDs and classes now. So what is an ID and class? Like, most of you probably have identity cards, if not national identity cards, student identity cards, and they'll be like, hey, let me see your ID. Your ID is like your representation if you are not there. Okay, it's like a birth certificate. Your birth certificate is some sort of ID. Okay, so that's what HTML has, IDs. Okay, so if for instance, where is my paragraph tag, and let's say I open another paragraph tag. This is another paragraph. Alright, Now, because it is the same p tag which I have referenced above in the head section, it's going to give me the same CSS styling. The color will be green and the font size will be 30 pixels. If I am wrong, I owe you something. Alright? Of course, I am not wrong. So this is it. Trying out CSS paragraphing, this is another paragraph. These are two separate paragraphs, but my CSS styling was attributed to the p tag. So any p tag within our document will always have that CSS styling. This is why people prefer to do their CSS styling directly on the tag. Alright, so if I was to style this p tag, the first one, alright, it's not going to affect any other p tag as long as I don't have anything here. Okay, I'm just let's actually try to do that. So style post. Okay, voila. Let's save that. Let's get rid of this, save it, and reload. Oops, I think I made an error. I forgot to close the quotes. Alright, so you see, I have styled the first paragraph tag, which has been applied, but the second is not styled and it's not referenced anywhere else in my HTML code. That is why you have the first style and the second not styled. Alright, but I will not always advise you to style directly on the tag because you might have a lot of lines of styling to do and you're just going to mix up your work and get it all dirty. So what I advise to do is actually, if you're supposed to do inline styling, you should style everything you need to do in the head tag. Okay, do all of that in the head tag. So I'm just going to take these out one more time. Go above. Save it and reload, so it comes back to that. So now let's say we want to style just this first paragraph tag. Alright, want to style just the first paragraph tag and we want to do in the head section. How I'm going to do that? It's funny because we have two p tags. Okay, now we can differentiate with the use of what? A class or an ID. So the first thing I'm going to teach you is an ID. So in the p tag which you want to style, give it an ID. Alright, just come to the p tag, opening tag, and put an ID equals, give it a name. Okay, I'll give it name p1 as in paragraph 1. Save it. Now, above here, we have the p tag being styled. Okay, in the whole of our code, there's only one p tag. Listen clearly, there's only one p tag. Sorry, there are two p tags. I'm really sorry, there are two p tags, but one has an ID, one doesn't have an ID. Okay, so if I come here and I do p1, that is saying that I am styling the paragraph tag with ID p1. Alright, so it's just that style, that p1, that means that in our source code there is something or some things called which have p1 as the ID. Okay, so I'm going to do the CSS styling to it. So if I reload, it's actually sorry, wrong. That is it. You need a hashtag ahead of it, in front of it. Alright, so that is how you style the ID. That is how you say, okay, I want this ID. Good. So if you don't put the hash in front of it, it's going to say, okay, p1 is a tag. Like, look at the body tag. Alright, in the style tag, I have body, there's nothing in front of it. It means that HTML knows that when you write like so, it is a tag. And if I write p1 like so, p1 is not a tag. That is why I said with CSS, it's not going to always do what you think HTML will do. You see, you can open a tag in HTML and not close it and it's fine. CSS, which is really, it's more strict. Alright, so if it's an ID, you got to tell me it's an ID, put a hashtag in front of it. Now, if I want to start the next paragraph tag differently, I can give it another ID, a different ID, or why not try a class? Alright, so class equals, let's give it a class name p2. Alright, so we're going to style it here. So if I write p2, and probably I want the color to be white, and I want the font size, it'll be a little bit smaller in the pixels, and I save this. of course nothing will change. All right, why won't anything change? Because I haven't identified that it's a class or what. I have identified it as a tag, and HTML doesn't realize any tag called p2. So most of you are guessing like, okay, then just put a hashtag there. If I put a hashtag there and I save it and I reload, it's eventually not going to change, because that is not how you identify a class. It is a dot, not a hashtag. Alright, so I'm going to put a dot and I reload, and I like, boom, something actually happens. If you think the size hasn't changed because of the original size, probably take it to 60 pixels and reload, and you see that, okay, it is really bigger, it is white. All right, so you see the difference. So in CSS you can style based on the tag, based on the ID, based on the class. So you just need to know how to use which particular styling. So in upcoming tutorials, please, I really urge you to stay and learn how to create really beautiful HTML pages. You see, this is looking anything better than what we have done, because you see it's a nice pink background, you have an image there, although all of them are placed aligned to the left and so forth. So if you stay further, you're going to see we're going to do some exercises which are going to make you understand. All right, so thank you very much for being with us today. Slap out.